everyone! Welcome to PST Channel, game story, movie style, for your busy days. Get ready, Super Robot Wars Y throws your favorite mechs against Godzilla Ultima in never-before-seen clashes. From Gundam to Getter, it's the dream crossover that never became an official anime. So, I'm bringing you the closest movie-style experience on PST for Mecha fans. A major conflict occurred between the Earthnoids on Earth and the Spacenoids in the space colonies, which, in the end, escalated into a full-scale war. The leaders of the Spacenoids were Haman Karn, Gilbert Durandal, Miliardo Peacecraft, and Char Aznable. The leaders of the Earthnoids were Trez Kushranada and Lelouch v Britannia. Despite efforts by those who desired peace, the war between Earth and space continued, with Lelouch v Britannia, who had seized control of Earth, declaring a total war against Char Aznable's Spacenoids. Lelouch declared himself the first Emperor of Earth and tried to impose his will across the world. In the end, Lelouch, known as the Evil Emperor, was assassinated by a masked man named Zero of the Black Knights. The world attained peace. This change resulted from people recognizing the futility and sorrow of war. This period of conflict came to be known as the Revolution War, since it spurred transformation in the world, and a new era began with the founding of the New Earth Federation, which included the space colonies as well. Since the assassination of Emperor Lelouch, 1 year has passed. 1 year. At a certain mansion in Yagami City, Echika Y. Fran Burnett, who is celebrating her 14th birthday, was targeted by mysterious android agents who attempted to kidnap her. But she was saved by Forte Tsukinoa, a member of Haze, the Special Stealth Forces. She introduced herself to Echika, saying that she was Echika's other birthday present. At that moment, Yagami City was being devastated by mobile suits of the terrorist group Val-X, whose objectives were unknown. Suddenly, a robot of the new EFF, called Luminous, appeared to suppress them, but those mobile suits were quickly dealt with. Forte then leapt in and piloted a remaining Luminous to fight them. At that moment, reinforcements appeared. Wu Fei Chang from Gundam Wing, together with his Altron Gundam. Wu Fei came to help Forte. The two joined forces to eliminate the Val-X terrorists. And then, the entire city rose into the sky. In truth, it was the mobile fortification A.Advent, another gift left by Echika's late father, Yagami City, and part of the neighboring Ayanashi City, to be precise. All the land Echika owns is now part of the mobile fortification A.Advent. What the hell kind of responsibility did you just throw onto a 14-year-old girl? Band-Aid? Echika used it to fight against the terrorists. At that time, Zero appeared together with the Lancelot Albion. Zero seemed to be searching for the Logos Remain, but became involved in this battle as well. And Forte herself received a gift from Cross, her brother, the mobile armored ninja Lunadrake, so she boarded it in place of her old unit. After After the battle ended, Wu Fei and Zero went on with their respective missions. As for Forte, she joined A.Advent to help Echika protect the city she had received from her late father. Echika then appeared on stage to publicly announce that she would take on the duty of caring for and protecting everyone in the city. Soon after, an explosion sounded outside A.Advent. The explosion was caused by mysterious enemies with the codename Insectors, who had destroyed a certain city until it was in ruins. When they saw A.Advent, they launched an attack. Although Getter robots were dispatched from the Seiyotome laboratory to confront the Insectors, they were all defeated by the Insectors. Forte went out to fight the Insectors, creating an opening for Takuma and Baku to board a vacant Getter robo and help Forte fight the Insectors. But they still could not prevail. At that moment, a mysterious person named Kamui, piloting Getter Arc under orders from the commander of the Seiyotome laboratory, arrived to invite Takuma and Baku to pilot the Arc in place of the original Getter, which was close to breaking down. After the battle, the commander of the Seiyotome laboratory decided to have Takuma, Baku, and Kamui join Echika and use Getter Arc as bait to lure enemies and to protect the citizens, leading to negotiations between the two sides. Echika truly wanted to protect the populace, while Dr. Hayato wanted to use Getter Arc to divert the enemy's attention away from his laboratory. The story takes place one night in the city within A.Advent itself. Yomogi and Yume, two ordinary high school students, encountered Goma, a mysterious man who claimed that he was a kaiju user. Out of nowhere, a mysterious kaiju appeared and attacked the city. Goma, who claimed to be a kaiju user, summoned a giant robot named Dynazenon to fight that kaiju. By coincidence, Yomogi, Yume, and Koyomi, an ordinary unemployed adult man who happened to be nearby, got involved in this incident and were pulled into the Dynazenon unit, forcing them to become co-pilots to fight the kaiju together with Goma, because Goma claimed that this robot required 4 pilots.
Nantoka beam!
Penetrator gun!
Even though they won, many new kaiju appeared. Dynazenon pushed them out beyond A.Advent to reduce the damage that the city would suffer from their fighting.
But we don't have much of a choice.
Seeing that, A.Advent dispatched Forte and the Getter team to assist Dynazenon in battling the kaiju that had been pushed outside the city.
本当の力を見せてやる!
After the battle ended, the Dynazenon team was invited to join A.Advent, and they agreed to cooperate in continuing the fight against the enemies. Later, the Japanese government attempted to seize A.Advent. However, Echika ordered the ship to head for Tokyo for negotiations, asking Takuma's and Goma's teams to protect the vessel during the talks. Meanwhile, Forte encountered Doman Cashew in an alley. Forte knew Doman as the King of Hearts and suspected that he was working on a mission for the Japanese government. Doman tried to deny it, but Forte did not believe him. Suddenly, Yomogi and the others appeared, excited to meet Doman Cashew. The negotiations were interrupted when mobile dolls, unmanned robots, invaded and attacked. Forte, Goma, Takuma, and Doman immediately rushed to fight against the mobile dolls. Hero Yui appeared with the Wing Gundam Zero and joined the battle as well. After the battle, Hero refused to join their team and departed. As for Doman, he had originally come at the request of the government to help seize A.Advent. But after the fight, he grew suspicious of the government. For now, he decided only to travel alongside them and investigate A.Advent. Then, the world government suddenly declared an emergency, dissolving the council and transferring all authority to second-level political organizations, the Old World nations. In other words, instead of the world being governed as one entity, as during the war with space, it reverted to individual countries ruling themselves again. This announcement shocked Echika and everyone greatly. Thus, Echika decided to declare the independence of A.Advent from the New Earth Federation, renaming its security force YZ Next, meaning wisdom and the path to victory. Novi and Mina, both highly skilled former military officers, became captain and operator of the ship. After declaring independence, A.Advent was no longer merely a city, but became a country of its own, not belonging to any nation. Because of this, A.Advent needed to secure income and resources for its nation. Hayato Jin of the Seiotomi Laboratory, along with the Getter Team commander, advised A.Advent to sell energy, since ever since the Revolutionary War, the world had faced an energy shortage. The A.Advent and its unique reactor could easily supply energy to regions and facilities that required it. They recommended Metropolis, the domain of Raideen, as A.Advent's first suitable customer. Raideen is the guardian deity of Mu, who fought against the Yoma Empire, an army of demons from the underworld that attacked the ancient Mu kingdom in 10,000 BC. After failing to conquer Mu, the demonic beings fled into the sea, with their leader, Barao, sealed within a statue by the Mu Kingdom's magical knowledge. 12,000 years later, the Demon Empire awoke again to attack Japan in vengeance. When A.Advent arrived there, they found Raideen, piloted by Akira Hibiki, main character of Brave Raideen 1975, and Great Mazinga, piloted by Tetsuya Tsurugi, main character of Great Mazinga, already battling the Yoma Empire. Seeing this, A.Advent helped Akira and Tetsuya fight the Yoma Empire. After driving the Yoma Empire away, A.Advent and Metropolis became allies and trading partners. Additionally, Metropolis entrusted Akira to join A.Advent on its journey. Tetsuya also joined A.Advent at the personal request of Hayato Jin to help look after the Getter Team. After this, it was revealed that the Yoma Empire had revived Garuda, one of the main villains in the Combattler 5 series. Hyouma decided to join A.Advent in order to fight against the Yoma Empire on the front lines and save Garuda's honor. from being revived as a mindless robot. Also, the sky turned red, causing many kaiju to appear. Jet Jaguar, an AI robot designed to analyze such phenomena, decided to move to A.Advent to gather data and experience. The next target of A.Advent was space. They had to head to Panama, the location that would allow them to access space once they received authorization from the people there, since A.Advent could not reach space on its own. After receiving permission to ascend to space, suddenly, they received news of the appearance of insectors. They went to investigate and instead encountered Dunbine, an aura battler powered by aura power, with an insect or monster-like appearance, from the world of Beisten Well, piloted by Sho Zama, protagonist of aura battler Dunbine. L-gaim, piloted by Daba Mirode, protagonist of heavy metal L-gaim. Heavy metals were robots created for battle, resembling certain living creatures, originating from another world called Pentagona. Both Sho and Daba were fighting against the insectors. Earlier, when Sho and Daba had been transported to this world from another dimension, their fairies had swapped with each other for a while, causing a comical incident.
Leave me alone!
Listen, Akira!
むやみに力を振るって戦争をしたい
Subsection Get the Hyper Oracular. I like her. She can't just say Hyper Oracular, but she had to say Hyper Oracular, something like that.
After that, the insectors fled. Then the Posaydal forces, who came from the same world as Daba, appeared alongside the Black Knights. Not the same group as Zero's Black Knights. They consisted of aura machines and heavy metals, all with the goal of conquering Earth, and they attacked Sho and A.Advent. So, Sho and A.Advent had to fight together against the Posaydal forces and the Black Knights. After repelling the Posaydal forces and the Black Knights, Sho and Daba decided to ally with A.Advent to fight against the Posaydal forces and Black Knights. In addition, Shin from Gundam Seed Destiny, after the end of the space battle and Durandal's defeat, was persuaded by Kira and Athrun to reform himself. Later, he became Doman's disciple in the School of the Undefeated of the East.
Look! The East is burning red!
After A.Advent entered space, they received an invitation from the Astakasia School of Technology, a higher education institute run by the Benerit Group, a major business conglomerate with an important role in Mobile Suit Gundam, the Witch from Mercury. At the same time, Suletta Mercury, the protagonist of that story, encountered Miorine Rembrandt, the daughter of the Benerit Group's president, as she was attempting to flee from the school. Suletta misunderstood, thinking that Miorine was drifting helplessly in space. So, she helped bring her back to school. Soon after, Suletta ran into trouble with Guel Jaturk, Miorine's fiancé, and the Holder, the top duelist of the school. Guel was destroying Miorine's belongings after being insulted by her. Suletta intervened, telling Guel to apologize to Miorine. Of course, the proud lion Guel refused so easily, and the matter ended in a duel between Suletta and Guel. At this school, personal combat is conducted between students using mobile suits. Participants fight with something at stake, such as money or honor. The one who becomes the Holder, the top duelist, automatically becomes the fiancé of the Benerit president's daughter. This was a rule set by Miorine's father. Since Miorine did not want to be treated as anyone's prize, She had attempted to run away earlier, as seen in the opening. Hero Yui appeared and declared that he would go fight the enemies, asking Suletta to focus on her duel. The enemies were Val X. Besides Hero, A.Advent also moved in to eliminate the Val X. Meanwhile, Suletta faced off against Guel.
行くよみんな
そのモビルスーツは何なんだお前は。
The result? Guel was easily defeated. Suletta was victorious, becoming Holder and, by extension, Miorine's fiancé in Guel's place. As for Hero and A.Advent, after defeating the Val X, Hero was ordered by Preventer, the top-level secret intelligence organization he belonged to join A.Advent. Later, Suletta was accused of cheating in her duel, forcing her to face Guel once more. This time, the duel was filled with traps that put Suletta at a disadvantage. Although Guel himself wanted a fair duel, his father manipulated the situation behind the scenes. During the fight, Miorine, determined for Suletta to win, intervened and disabled the traps that were working against her. In the end, Suletta and Guel were able to fight a clean duel again. After an intense battle, Suletta still emerged victorious. This defeat marked the beginning of Guel's path toward becoming a true man. Not long after, the Wolgaru, an enemy organization from Majestic Prince, whose goal was to invade Earth, appeared to attack Astacasia. A.Advent and Suletta's group went out to fight the Wolgaru alongside Team Rabbit 5, the spearhead unit of the Majestic Prince series.
3時方向より敵機侵入迎撃開始目標確認頼んだよ駿河了解だイズル持ってけ泥棒オラオラオラオラレッドファイブ一緒にヒーローになろうもらったいけイズルみんなの思いを一つにする必殺ラビッツアタック
After defeating the Wolgaru, Guel kept his word and apologized to Miorine. Following this, Miorine and Suletta were invited aboard A.Advent. They agreed, with the condition that Suletta would return to Astacasia periodically to duel challengers in her role as Holder. Afterward, on their next major mission, A.Advent was invited to deliver energy to San Francisco, where a celebration was being held for the arrival of the Mazingar globular cluster from Macross Delta, sent to help safeguard peace on Earth. But the venue was suddenly attacked by the Posaydal forces, forcing A.Advent to dispatch YZ next into battle. At that moment, Delta Flight appeared, an elite unit under Zeus, consisting of 5 VF-31 Siegfried Valkyries, sent from another galaxy to protect Earth. They assisted A.Advent in fighting the Posaydal.
Yes, it.
歌は
I like
命歌は
Yes, it is.
神秘歌は元気
Oh, he already tried it.
女神の歌を超時空ヴィーナスバルキューレ
Reinforcements also appeared for the enemy. The Aerial Knights, ace forces under the direct command of the royal family of the Kingdom of Windermere, who aimed to conquer Earth. After the clash, the Posaydal and the Aerial Knights were driven back successfully. However, before the Aerial Knights withdrew, Royd Brem, the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Windermere, publicly declared war on Earth. After the battle ended, Zeus formally joined with A.Advent to continue missions to protect Earth. Later, A.Advent received a request to rescue Nunnally V. Britannia, Lelouch's younger sister, Relina Peacecraft, heroine of Gundam Wing, and Lakis Klein, heroine of Gundam Seed. All three had worked toward peace during the Revolutionary War, but were kidnapped by the Kingdom of Zilkistan, the main antagonist of Code Geass, Lelouch of the Resurrection. A.Advent succeeded in rescuing Relina and Lakis, but Nunnally remained missing, still held captive somewhere unknown. In addition, A.Advent encountered Lelouch, who was believed to be dead, but had been resurrected by C2, his former co-conspirator. Lilac no longer seemed like the evil emperor. He told A.Advent that he wanted to focus on rescuing Nunnally. It was later revealed that Messer, one of the pilots of Delta Flight, was suffering from VAR syndrome, a mysterious illness that causes victims to lose all sense of self, falling into madness, where they do nothing but kill and destroy. At this time, only Tetsuya knew about Messer's condition. Messer asked Tetsuya to keep it a secret, promising that if his symptoms worsened, he would withdraw himself. Elan was secretly sent on a mission by Peel Technologies to obtain data on the aerial mobile suit. To accomplish this, he approached Suletta. Since Suletta had hardly ever experienced kindness from anyone before, she quickly grew fond of Elan. So much so that Miorine grew angry at Suletta. However, when Elan test-piloted the aerial, he discovered that Suletta was not an enhanced human like him. He began to envy her, believing she had everything he lacked: friends, family, a past, and a future, while he was merely a disposable tool. Elan challenged Suletta to a duel, betting the aerial. Suletta accepted on one condition: if Elan lost, he would have to tell more about himself. This sweetness made everyone in Super Robot Wars watching remark, "Here we go. Suletta's basically confessing right in front of everyone." In the duel, Elan was defeated. Although he did not reveal much, he told her he remembered someone celebrating his birthday a long time ago. Not understanding the grim truth, Suletta took his words literally, and with pure kindness, told him, "You still have people to celebrate your birthday with, including me." During this time, enemies attacked, giving Elan and Suletta their first chance to fight together as a team. After the battle, Elan told Suletta, "See you later," with a smile, making her very happy, believing he was finally opening up to her. Unbeknownst to her, Elan was on his way to be disposed of as a failure. Suletta sang the birthday song for him. "Happy birthday to you." In fact, the UC content in this game differs quite a bit from the usual Gundam universe. The events of Zeta Gundam and Char's counterattack are almost continuous here, known in-game as the Revolutionary Wars. And since Zeta Gundam in between, Camille remains young, and the specs of the mobile suits in Zeta Gundam are fairly close to those in Char's counterattack. As seen in the stage with Yazan Gable piloting the Humbrabi, he alone is able to pressure both Amuro Ray in a mass-production new Gundam and Camille Badan in the Hyakushiki Kai, claiming it was only because they weren't piloting their personal suits. But once Amuro and Camille return to their true machines, the new Gundam and Zeta Gundam, they easily drive Yazan away. Another major difference from mainline UC is that in this game, Char does not send Axis crashing into Earth. So even after proclaiming himself the leader of Neo Zeon, he remains respected and reputable. Because of this, Char is able to persuade Kira Yamato and Miliardo Peacecraft to join A.Advent alongside him. Later, they are attacked by the Yoma Empire, which is allied with the Mycenae Empire, the main antagonistic force appearing in Great Mazinga to wipe out humanity. This time, Photon Lab is devastated completely.
Nantoka Balia actually say it.
The enemy invades, searching for Kabuto Koji, and even Sayaka is about to be killed. But Koji arrives just in time to save her. Koji returns piloting Mazinkaiser, developed through research at the space station. Together, they repel the armies of the Yoma Empire and the Mycenae Empire. After the battle, Koji joins the A.Advent team to continue fighting against the Mycenae. In Super Robot Wars Y, they also bring back the new story of Aura Battler Dunbine. This time, Dilman and Echika are warped into Neo Byston Well, 700 years after the Dunbine TV series. There, they meet Shion, Zaba, and Silky, who are later revealed to be the reincarnations of Shozama and Chum. Dolman notices that Shion's fighting style resembles that of Master Asia. Shion in this era is in love with Princess Rimuli, who is the reincarnation of Rimmel Luft. He pilots Sirbine to fight Warlord Raban, himself the reincarnation of Black Knight Burn from the TV series. However, after warping back from Byston Well, Shion and Silky also come into the same timeline and meet with Shozama and others. Shion is ruthless by nature, unlike Sho, who is a holy knight and Aura battler. As a result, Sho becomes Shion's mentor in this storyline. Later, A.Advent received news of Lelouch's plan to rescue Nonali. A.Advent decided to assist Lelouch and Nonali, but it was far from simple because Lelouch's plan was read in advance. Their opponent was a Geass user. On top of that, Wu Fei opposed them, believing that the piece Lelouch and Tress created was false and should be destroyed, and so he stood in their way. Eventually, Lelouch confronted Shamna, the main antagonist of Code Geass, Lelouch of the Resurrection. She is the queen and holy priestess of Zilkistan, and a Geass user. Shamna's Geass allows her to send her consciousness 6 hours back in time whenever she dies, giving her past self visions of the future. This power allowed her to counter Lelouch's strategies. Until now. Finally, Lelouch sees through Shama's Geass and commands her to sleep forever. In the end, Lelouch and A.Advent succeed in rescuing Nonali. After the battle, Echika asks Lelouch to oversee A.Advent's finances. Lelouch and Suzaki also agree to work together to maintain peace. But soon after, they receive word that Relina Darlian and Lakis Klein have disappeared. Later, Echika begins a broadcast announcing A.Advent's new organizational structure and cabinet. She pledges to dedicate herself to the safety, freedom, and growth of A.Advent and its citizens. But soon after, various enemy groups, Valex, the Posaydal forces, the Drake Army, and Windermere appear before A.Advent and reveal that together they form NOAA, an organization intent on plunging the world into perpetual war. Before departing, the kaiju users challenge the Dynazenon team. They control a kaiju so powerful that it requires 2 users together to manage it, leaving Dynazenon at a severe disadvantage. While they struggle, a mysterious white-haired man appears, transforming like Ultraman. He calls himself Gridknight, accompanied by a bespectacled girl who was once a kaiju in SSSS Gridman. With their arrival, the kaiju users retreat. Later, the kaiju users return to settle the score with A.Advent, bringing a massive kaiju army, including every type of kaiju that has ever appeared. Normally, this would be impossible in the anime, since there were only 4 users, but this is in Super Robot Wars, a game where old bosses often return as underlings. This time, Dynazenon cannot combine, because Yume has disappeared. Chise finds Yume depressed, overwhelmed by memories of her sister's case. Chise tells Yume that she still has people who want to support her. Yomogi arrives just then to help, but as another kaiju attacks, Gridknight shields them from the blow. Chise entrusts Goldburn to help. Goldburn is a mysterious kaiju theorized to have been born from Chise's desire to participate in Dynazenon's fight, since in this series, kaiju can be created from human emotions.
力を貸せホルドバウそう
Goldburn enlarges and combines with Gridknight, launching an attack. After this, the rest of the Dynazenon team joins in, allowing them to finally combine into Kaiser Gridknight and win the battle.
浅中よもぎ
ダイナミックキャノン
レックスドーファイヤー
The group of A.Advent infiltrated Posaydal territory at the maritime city of Spheat, where the enemy's main base was located. Daba and Sho's group carried out the infiltration with guidance from the 2 fairies, while Valkura hacked the gates. But Oldna Posaydal appeared, attempting to sway Daba and Sho to his side with hypnotic powers. Camille suddenly intervened to save them, as he was well acquainted with Psycho Camille-type powers and could block the attempt, allowing the group to escape. Along the way, Sho encountered Shot Weapon, a man who, in the past, had brought aura machines into Byston Well and was the cause of the war. Now he worked as a researcher for Posaydal. Meanwhile, Daba encountered his younger sister Olabi, who was under mind control. Although Valkyra's song allowed her to regain awareness for a short moment, they could not save her yet, and had to flee. Later, the Walgaru and Noahs attacked Astacasia School, bringing them into conflict with A.Advent. This time, Suletta deployed Aerial Rebuild to assist in the battle, even though Miorine forbade her from piloting it since it had not been tested. At the same time, Guel, though expelled from the school, piloted the Darl Blade in secret to protect the school. No one knew his true identity, except Doman, who declared that the red mobile suit was an ally, not an enemy. After successfully driving away the Walgaru and Noahs, Guel abandoned his old name and adopted the new one, Bob, agreeing to stay with Doman and A.Advent. As for Suletta, even though she didn't slap anyone to death with Aerial Rebuild this time, Miorine still grew angry and scolded her for using it without testing. Fortunately, Hayata and Colin stepped in, telling Miorine not to shout at Suletta and to be honest about her own feelings. Miorine answered that she only wanted Suletta to come back safely. Hearing this made Suletta very happy. Later, A.Advent received a request to investigate proto-culture ruins that had been occupied by the Windermerians. These ruins were capable of spreading Var syndrome if the Singer of the Wind, the Emperor of the Windermere Kingdom, sang to activate them. At the same time, Valkyra's Biofold wave songs could also reach the ruins and shut them down. Thus, A.Advent had to reclaim the ruins to save the world, leading them into battle with Noahs, which included the Windermerians. During the fight, Messer struggled to fight while controlling his VAR syndrome symptoms. In the end, he sacrificed himself to protect his comrades, and his machine crashed. At that moment, the Emperor of Windermere appeared to sing and activate the ruins. A.Advent then unleashed a surge of energy. In the end, the ruins collapsed due to the clash between the Windsong and Valkyria's song, together with A.Advent's power. The Windermerians' mission to use the ruins to spread VAR syndrome failed, but at the cost of Messer's life. Meanwhile, A.Advent discovered that Echika lost control and transformed into a three-eyed demon-like form. Camille described it as if countless people's will force signals were raging out from A.Advent. Forte, who seemed to already know about this, revealed that her mission was to kill Echika if such an event occurred. But she hesitated and couldn't bring herself to carry out the duty. At that moment, Savis, Celestial Knight of Noahs, declared, "This is what corrupted His Majesty," and attacked A.Advent. Forte took the blow instead and was captured before Noahs withdrew.
I feel like our unit gonna block this time. It's gonna hit.
大丈夫だよエチカ、私がいるから。
まだ終わっちゃいない。とどめだ。
Oh, divide in two.
After the battle, Echika regained consciousness. Reflecting on the events, everyone decided they must rescue Forte. Hayata requested to pilot Messer's Valkyrie, saying he too had something to protect, just as Messer once did. They also began to grow suspicious of A.Advent's Nirikana Eye system. They theorized that A.Advent's Nirikana Eye system directly converted human will force into energy, but they were unsure whether Echika was the sole source, or if the townspeople were also involved. Regardless, they decided to shut the system down, since they could still operate with backup power, though they would no longer be able to supply energy to others. Meanwhile, Forte, who had been captured, was interrogated by Noahs. It was revealed that her mission was to protect Echika, but also to kill her if Nirikana Eye went out of control. This mission was given by Forte's father, the head of Haze. Suddenly, Cross, Forte's brother and the leader of the Special Stealth Forces Haze, appeared and rescued her. After defeating their Noah's pursuers, Cross ordered her to accept her mission to kill Echika if she lost control again. But Forte refused, saying Echika had regained her self-control and declaring she would protect her because Echika was more important than the mission. When their views clashed, the two siblings fought. Cross was defeated. He admitted Forte had chosen the right path, told her to follow her heart, and gave her a gift from their father, a new unit, YZ Lunadrake. Meanwhile, A.Advent faced Noah's forces that had appeared to fight them. Forte arrived in her new unit and joined her comrades, successfully driving Noahs away.
Finally.
Afterward, Cross and Forte's father, Echika's father as well, Dr. Tetsuro Yagami, made contact. He praised Forte's efforts before leaving, shocking everyone with the revelation that Dr. Yagami was still alive and that Forte and Echika were siblings. After the battle, Echika announced to all citizens that Nirikana Eye the core engine of A.Advent, generated limitless energy. However, there were still many aspects they did not yet understand, meaning the system could put them at risk. She declared she would support anyone who wished to leave A.Advent, since when she first presented A.Advent, she had promised guaranteed shelter, safety, and energy. After that, A.Advent received news that Lakis and Relina had been captured by the army of Maria Maya, the daughter of Trez, led by Deccan Barton. Of course, Maria Maya was merely a puppet used by Deccan. A.Advent engaged Maria Maya's forces. This time, Wu Fei could not accept Deccan's method of sacrificing Lakis to frame A.Advent by sending a transport carrying Lakis to crash into a colony and pinning the blame on A.Advent. However, when the transport approached the colony, it was stopped by Hiro and Kira, shocking Wu Fei and making him realize that Deccan had deceived everyone. Wu Fei therefore decided to fight against Maria Maya's army in this battle as well, because he refused to let anyone use another's life as a sacrifice. After Maria Maya's army was defeated, Wu Fei still felt conflicted about justice. He believed that peace built on sacrifice was false. Hiro challenged Wu Fei to a duel, wagering that if Hiro won, Wu Fei would have to join the A.Advent team. In the duel, Wu Fei revealed the pain he felt from having to fight Hiro like this. Hiro defeated Wu Fei, who accepted his loss, and finally decided to travel together with Hiro and the others. Next, the armies of the Yoma Empire, the Mycenae Empire, and the Campbellians, the main antagonists of the anime series Combattler 5, appeared together under the name Infernal Alliance and clashed with A.Advent. A.Advent managed to corner Hadias, one of the enemy's generals, but the situation reversed when the leader of the Mycenaeans, the Great General of Darkness, appeared, far superior to Hadias. The Great General attacked Koji when Koji confronted him, but Tetsuya interposed himself and took the blade, leaving Great Mazinga heavily damaged. The Great General of Darkness challenged Koji to fight, so Koji unleashed the full Mazin power of Mazinkaiser, which sent it into a frenzy because the photon power reactor was unstable and could explode. At that moment, the Great General of Darkness moved to strike Koji, but Akira arrived to block the blow. As their friends cheered Koji on to regain control of Mazinkaiser, a mysterious Mazinga appeared and attacked Koji's group with the aim of destroying Mazinkaiser while it was berserk. In that split second, Tetsuya drove the damaged Great Mazinga close to the mysterious Mazinga, then leapt across and took control of it before Great Mazinga exploded. Seeing danger, Hadias rushed in to attack Tetsuya and the mysterious Mazinga, but was easily cut down because this mysterious Mazinga was on the same level as Koji's Mazinkaiser. Tetsuya named it Mazin Emperor G.
命を燃やす時だ。マジンエンペラー G。エンペラーソード。これで終わりだ!
Witnessing Tetsuya's determination, Koji regained control of Mazinkaiser. In the end, everyone succeeded in driving off the Great General of Darkness and the Infernal Alliance. After the battle, they learned that Mazin Emperor G had been built by Dr. Juzo Kabuto, creator of the Great Mazinga, and Koji's father, as a system designed to restrain Mazinkaiser whenever it went out of control. Next, A.Advent faced the Dark Army of Wang Yunfat and Alube Ishikawa, the two villains from G Gundam. who were plotting to resurrect the Dark Gundam, a mobile suit capable of evolution, self-regeneration, and self-replication, once used as a tool to throw the world into chaos for the sake of conquest.
俺のこの手が真っ赤に燃える調理をしかめととろらき叫ぶクレスゴッドフィンガー関羽天気をけ覚悟関羽天気をゴッドフィンガーヒット
Before Wong's group retreated, having lost to A.Advent in the first encounter, the plan to revive the Dark Gundam continued. A.Advent was then informed that Maria Maya's army had entered Earth's atmosphere and seized the NLN headquarters in Brussels. A.Advent therefore had to go there to suppress Maria Maya's forces. Near the end of the battle, even knowing that Deckham still held Relina hostage inside a highly reinforced shelter, Hiro nevertheless fired the twin buster rifle at the enemy's shelter. With just 3 shots, the shelter was destroyed, but only the outer wall. Hiro had already calculated the damage. Everyone inside the shelter remained safe, allowing A.Advent to successfully move in and rescue Relina. After the battle, Deckham's organization was dissolved. Maria Maya was not punished, as she was young and had been used as a tool. Lady Une took responsibility for her as a probationary guardian. A.Advent next received a report that Dr. Yagami's laboratory had been found in Chongqing, and they decided to go there to search for information about A.Advent. Upon arrival, they discovered it was a ruin, hidden in another dimension, and they had to contend with an attack by Noahs as well. They fought to open a path so Echika could meet Dr. Yagami inside. Echika succeeded in meeting Dr. Yagami, only to face the unexpected truth. Dr. Yagami revealed that these ruins were relics of an ancient civilization, and also Echika's birthplace. Echika was merely the product of genetic experiments by an ancient people whom Dr. Yagami called Evolvers, who had the psychic ability known as Will Force. Echika had been created to be the central control core of Project A.Advent, the leader of a new human race. As for Echika, Forte, and Cross, they were not truly siblings. That story had been entirely invented by Dr. Yagami. He had gathered humans with talent for will force and trained them as ninjas. Then, Valbelm, who called himself the Celestial Emperor, appeared, searching for Izana, the genetic prototype of Echika, who is lying dormant here and seeking to use her power to control the world. Valbelm awakened Izana, who could control will force, and took her away. After that, Echika, who had at first refused to use will force for fear of losing control again, decided to accept her power in order to fight for those she loved and believed in. The team united, using all their abilities to protect her and the world from subjugation. At this point, the player can choose whether to try speaking with Izana or not. This decision opens the door to different ending routes. On Noah's side, having seized Izana, who is called Progenitor of Superhumanity, they were confident that Izana's awakening had unleashed a vast energy source that would benefit them. They all planned to exploit the use of will force power in the future, just like how A.Advent had done unknowingly in the past. However, Windermere grew dissatisfied that their plan to spread Bar Syndrome was progressing too slowly, blaming Valkyra and Noah's for repeatedly ordering retreats and causing delays. Windermere therefore set their next targets as A.Advent and Valkyra. Windermere clashed with A.Advent again. This time, they managed to capture Mikumo and Freya of Valkyra. Although Hayata pursued to rescue them, he was outmatched and captured as well. While Mikumo was imprisoned, she was placed under a spell by Royd upon hearing the words Rudamil Ramayan. It turns out she was a clone of a legendary Windermerian singer who once sang the Song of Stars, an ancient song which, when amplified by the proto-culture relays, can manipulate human consciousness. Although all three were later rescued and Windermere's forces were driven off,
思いだけでも力だけでもこれで決める。
After the battle, Royd led Windermere to withdraw from Noah's in order to pursue their own path. Since Noah's now had Izana, who could control will force, A.Advent decided that their top priority was to gather more information on the Evolvers. Echika invited Reiko, Akira's mother, whose true identity was Princess Lemuria of the Mu Kingdom, the sole survivor of its destruction 12,000 years ago, to serve as an advisor, as she might possess useful knowledge. Reiko revealed she had studied the Yoma Kingdom and the Animus clan, the ancient civilization, or what Echika's group called the Evolvers, and that she had also come to A.Advent to recover her own lost memories. Reiko explained that the Evolvers used will force to build an advanced civilization, the Animus clan, before. Then, they were destroyed by a catastrophe 12,000 years ago. However, her memories of that cataclysm were sealed, leading her to believe a similar event might recur through the Yoma Kingdom's return and Izana's awakening. The key to restoring her memories, she said, was a kaiju that would soon appear at A.Advent because something told her in a dream that it would manifest and it would allow her to recover her memories. As foretold, a new kaiju appeared before Reiko's group. It manifested naturally, without being controlled by any of the kaiju eugenicists. However, when it arrived, Reiko, Echika, and many A.Advent members mysteriously vanished. Seeing this, Yomogi leapt into the kaiju's mouth, only to find not viscera, but the memories of the others who had disappeared. Meanwhile, the Infernal Alliance attacked, and Garuda, the great general from the Campbellians' side, vanished as well. Those who had disappeared when the kaiju appeared were being confined within past memories, which Yomogi, who entered later, could see in full. For example, Shin saw his departed sister Mayu. Amuro and Char saw Layla. Lelouch saw Euphemia and Rollo. Yomogi also glimpsed scenes from Goma's past, 5,000 years ago. But at the sound of Yomogi's voice, everyone regained their senses and returned to the present, except Reiko, Hyoma, the protagonist of Shodenji Robo Combattler 5, and Echika, who remained missing. In a space-like place, Echika heard a mysterious voice telling her this was their world of memories. They are known as the ones who induce progress, and they would reveal what happened 12,000 years ago. As for Reiko, Hyoma, and Garuda, they appeared in a hell-like place, the time when the world changed, and the Evolvers went extinct 12,000 years prior. Garuda added that the Yoma Empire calls the Evolvers the Animus clan, and that they were the enemies of the Campbellians. 12,000 years ago, the Campbellians' investigation of the Animus clan brought them to Earth, where they learned of the danger there. This is the reason they decided to eradicate the Earthlings, the inheritors of the Evolver's will. He himself had been created by the Campbellians to complete that mission. It is funny how Super Robot Wars Y finally created a very bold reason for the enemy of this series on why they invade Earth. As they discussed what really happened in the Cataclysm, they heard a deafening roar. Reiko named it the God of Ruin, felt a crushing terror, and realized they had to get out before their minds were overrun by the Evolver's memories. Before long, each of the three heard voices of those important to them calling from outside, and they returned to reality. That kaiju was destroyed by Garuda, and A.Advent confronted the waiting Infernal Alliance. In this battle, Reiko activated the Star of Ra-Mu and unleashed Mutron, granting Akira's Raideen full power. Next, A.Advent received reports of Giwaza Lowao's rebellion within the Posaydal forces. Their headquarters had become a war zone, an opportunity to defeat both Giwaza and Posaydal, while the enemy fought among themselves. A.Advent moved in and engaged both Giwaza's rebel forces and Posaydal troops.
一機ずつ落としていく。ここはこれが確実か。終わりだ。これ以上は持たん。During the battle, Daba encountered his mind-controlled younger sister, Olabi, once again. This time, he was able to bring her back to her senses, and she remembered that Daba was her brother. Olabi accepted Daba's help and was finally freed from Posaydal. Giwaza's rebellion failed. He was executed on orders from Oldna Posaydal, who then revealed that she had allied with Paptimus Scirocco, the main antagonist of Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, the archenemy of both Char and Camille. Scirocco disclosed that he was the true representative of Earth within Noah's.
Giwaza actually.
He and Posaydal departed after Giwaza's death, even though we had seized the Posaydal forces headquarters. They then discovered that the massive Stoker wormhole, controlled by the Andromeda Stellaration, the villains from Getter RoboArc who kept sending insectors to invade Earth, the wormhole was growing rapidly and would destroy the world within 10 days. They had to travel there with the objective of using the Hyperspace Anchor Module Zold to stop the Andromeda Stellaration's plan. The enemy kept pushing their assault without pause. Until Black Shin Getter, piloted by Go Tahir, attacked the Andromeda Stellaration's dimensional hole to cut off their reinforcements. In the end, however, things went wrong. The enemy's barrage destroyed Zold's control unit, distorting space. Go Tahir then sacrificed himself, overdriving Black Shin Getter to stabilize Zold, which allowed everyone to enter the wormhole successfully. After completing the dimensional jump, Takuma and the others found themselves in an unfamiliar place and had to fight the insectors there. While they were in dire straits, a Getter appeared to help. The helmeted pilot introduced himself as Musashi Tomoe of the original Getter team, revealing the truth. Takuma and company had traveled 2,500 years into the future. The A.Advent group was invited to a conference aboard the Getter battleship with Musashi Tomoe, the current commander, an artificial being created from the Getter Emperor's memories. Musashi explained that, in the future, humanity invaded the galaxy and was ultimately defeated.
When mankind was on the brink of extinction, the Getter Emperor appeared and protected them until humanity conquered the universe. He stated that the Getter Emperor is a tremendously powerful singular point, meaning history is already set and cannot be changed. Musashi also revealed that the Andromeda Stellation plans to travel back in time to destroy Earth before the Getter Emperor is born in order to avoid the future tragedy of alien races. Moreover, Savis, who had suspiciously tagged along with A.Advent, disclosed that while warring with the Getter Emperor's faction in the future, Celestial Emperor Valbelm's group was also sucked across time. Though the cause was unclear, given the opportunity to time travel, Val's group aimed to alter the past and avert their race's annihilation in a future war with humans. They hid among humans from the shadows under the name Val-X, engaging in various operations from mecha trafficking to altering events, including making sure that Char would not drop Axis on Earth. As a result, Char in Super Robot Wars Y is portrayed at his cleanest and most respected, admired by nearly everyone, including Camille and Kira Yamato. Everything Val-X did was an attempt to tweak many small singularities to change the future where the Getter Emperor would arise. But it seems nothing has truly changed. This time, A.Advent's mission in the future was to destroy the Star Border, the Andromeda Stellation's time travel device. During the battle, Takuma confronted McDonald, the man who had killed his mother in the past. McDonald rode Uzala, a fearsome deity guardian of Atlantic, which almost killed the previous generation of Getter team, including Takuma's dad, in the past. McDonald handed Kamui data on a weapon called BUG, Bug, hoping Kamui would use it to destroy Getter and humanity upon returning to the past. And he agitated him by saying that if the Getter Emperor came to be, it would annihilate every race except humans, the dinosaur people included. When the enemy was nearly defeated, McDonald blew himself up together with the Star Border, trying to drag everyone down with him. After the explosion, they returned to their original world and found that all Stokers had disappeared. Although everyone felt the war was over, Musashi reminded them it was not. Everyone here had remained a singular point. After finishing the operation against the Andromeda Stellation, A.Advent was invited by Emperor Go to the Dinosaur Empire to celebrate the victory. But it was a trap. They were imprisoned in a detention camp, and Kamui turned traitor as well. His actions followed his plan to protect the dinosaur race from destruction by the Getter Emperor that would be born in the future. Kamui then seized power from Emperor Go, believing Go was too weak and would lead their species to ruin. Kamui's plan was to use the bug machines to destroy Earth's ecosystem and rebuild a world suitable for the dinosaurs. His only way, he believed, to prevent the Getter Emperor from arising and destroying the universe in the future. Takuma and the YZ Next team resolved to escape the camp and fight Kamui to protect the Earth and humanity.
ゲッターはあってはならない。俺は勝たねばならない。
During the battle, Wong appeared with the Dark Gundam to attack A.Advent. However, the Dark Gundam disobeyed Wong and even attacked him because the revived Dark Gundam had regained the consciousness of the Ultimate Gundam. Then, Master Asia appeared. Master Asia explained he was summoned to the Aura Road after his death, where body and spirit merged through rigorous training, purging the DG cells clean. He taught martial arts in Byston well, passing it down until Shion's era 700 years later. After returning to Earth, he watched A.Advent from the shadows, thinking the young ones should be allowed to live their lives. But with the Dark Gundam's return, he would fight alongside the YZ Next team. Wong quickly fled with the Dark Gundam to find a way to regain control. Master Asia tried to warn Kamui that humans and dinosaurs are both part of the world and can coexist. But Kamui rejected this and insisted coexistence is impossible.
I'll kill you.
Amid the battle with the bugs, Getter Saint Dragon appeared, revealed to be the form incubating beneath the Seotome lab base. Getter Saint Dragon rushed in and battered the bugs to near destruction. Takuma urged Kamui to hop back into Getter Arc and fight together like before. Kamui confessed he couldn't become a singular point who changes the future, and told Takuma that they would have to face Getter Saint Dragon, which would eventually become the Getter Emperor. The YZ Next team, having taken Kamui back in, was forced to confront Getter Saint Dragon in a fierce clash until it finally retreated. After the victory, Kamui reconciled with Takuma and thanked him for proving the dinosaurs still had a future. They decided to cooperate and fight for a future where humans and dinosaurs can coexist. Almost immediately after, the Infernal Alliance, led by Garuda, appeared and attacked them amid the ruins. They managed to drive Garuda off, but then space began to warp. Getter Saint Dragon appeared again, intent on eliminating A.Advent to steer the timeline back onto its own correct path. Yet after only a brief skirmish, it suddenly vanished. Moments later came reports of a gigantic life form, Godzilla, King of the Kaiju, manifesting in Antarctica. It transformed and obliterated the entire team sent to eliminate it. Godzilla was no ordinary kaiju, but a colossal singular point. Its very existence distorted the natural order. Godzilla's presence could trigger a catastrophe like the one 12,000 years ago, which would obstruct the creation of the Getter Emperor. To protect the world from this god of destruction, they set course for Antarctica. When Team A.Advent arrived in Antarctica, they discovered that Godzilla Ultima was no ordinary kaiju. It was the god of ruin that had destroyed the ancient civilization 12,000 years ago. They were forced to fight under poor visibility, and the mecha's output was reduced due to the red dust. Because the god of ruin was a common enemy to all species attacked 12,000 years prior, the great general of darkness ordered the Animus beast, Midolo, to strike Godzilla, but Godzilla wiped it out in a single attack.
And this gonna be one shot. Yep. You unlit kill. Yeah, so listen of you revive something just for this.
YZ Next and its allies tried to pour everything they had into their assault on Godzilla, but could not inflict any meaningful damage.
わかるぜゴジラ。お前を超えた先に人類の未来がある。ぶちかますぞ Coming back! Suretta! ぶっ飛びやがれ！こいつを食らいな！ボンバー！
対象との距離データ送ります。 AD フォーム起動を確認。続いて DMO シーケンスへ。味方機の退避を確認。マズルドメイン形成。まもなくパワーエクスカーションに到達。
お任せします。
ドミニオンオブリタレイター発射。Echika therefore ordered a retreat to prevent needless losses. After falling back, they realized the task entrusted by Getter Saint Dragon was to defeat Godzilla. Since they had failed, the Getter Emperor from the future was now traveling back in time to their dimension to deal with it personally. They concluded that if Godzilla and Getter Emperor, both massive singular points, were to clash, it would cause a catastrophic event, even worse than the one 12,000 years ago. In addition, the retreat destabilized dimensional boundaries, relocating the Wolgaru army's warp gate close to the Earth sphere. With their sudden and unexpected arrival, Emperor Galki of the Wolgaru proclaimed the final hunt against humanity. A.Advent convened to prepare Operation Heaven's Gate, a last stand to stop the Wolgaru. During the briefing, Teoria, sister to Geass and one of the Wolgaru generals, appeared. She apologized on behalf of her race and asked to join the team to fight her own people. She revealed that while the hunt was part of their culture, she opposed it and believed destroying the dimensional gate was the only way to end the cruelty. A.Advent launched an assault on the Rada Gate. The battle raged fiercely. Izuru, the protagonist of Majestic Prince, faced off against Geass, empowered by his friends' voices. Izuru broke through to a new level and defeated Geass.
別な人を守るため、そしてヒーローになるため。
結局そこかよ。
みんなのところに生きて帰るんだ。やろう、レッドファイブ。うわっ、
私はまた一歩先に進むことができたわ。
守りたいもののために僕は戦う。
Afterward, everyone combined their strength and destroyed the Wolgaru Gate. In the wake of victory, they learned about the Super Dimension Calculator, a device that foretold a looming catastrophe caused by Godzilla in Antarctica, and they received grim news. Mikumo has been captured. Their next mission would be to fight Godzilla and rescue Mikumo. Team A.Advent headed to Antarctica to confront Godzilla and avert the disaster predicted by the Super Dimension Calculator. Along the way, they gathered more data on the calculator. In the past, the Super Dimension Calculator had been used for research but failed and caused a computational explosion, giving rise to the red dust. They would need the orthogonal diagonalizer to purge the red dust, and it also required trigger code that would let them use it to defeat Godzilla. The short theory, since Godzilla was born from red dust, if they could transmute the red dust into another substance, Godzilla would disappear.
ターゲット、ゴジラ。
攻撃開始。
The battle with Godzilla began in earnest, but every attack proved futile. Godzilla could draw energy from another dimension, making it OP.
Finally he's speaking.
make matters worse, Getter Saint Dragon appeared and began summoning the Getter Emperor from another dimension, and it was homing in on Godzilla. To prevent disaster when the two singular points met, researchers on all sides worked desperately to find the trigger code, seemingly the only way to stop Godzilla. It was a race against time before the Getter Emperor arrived. A.Advent sought to deliver Jet Jaguar, the pivotal robot from Godzilla Singular Point, atop Godzilla, but they were intercepted. Even the kaiju eugenesis had to summon every remaining kaiju to help, and they were all destroyed in the attempt. At last, they found a trigger capable of halting the red dust and Godzilla, and uploaded it to Jet Jaguar just in time. Jet Jaguar gained a new capability and used that power to defeat Godzilla.
Jaguar PP 02とジェットジャガーの遥かなる惑星です。破局に対抗する力を得るため、時間の中で誕生を繰り返してきました。私たちを止めることはできません。
The red dust vanished from the world, and the catastrophe was prevented. With Godzilla gone, the Getter Emperor departed as well. They had averted this doom. From here, the story diverges based on whether the player had chosen to speak with Izana when she first appeared. If they chose to negotiate, the Emperor Valbelm's side uses a device obtained from Nexus to siphon Evolver from Izana to himself, allowing him to control the Will Force's power. If the player chose to refuse, this event does not occur. With the King of Kaiju and the Red Dust gone, the Kaiju Eugenesis met with Goma's group openly aboard the A.Advent, though their defeat wasn't easy to accept, since the Kaiju they had gathered were all expended helping in the fight against Godzilla. Therefore, Shizumu decided to transform into a Kaiju and control himself to settle one final match against Dynazenon. In this battle, Kaiser Dynazenon went all out against Shizumu's Kaiju form.
Dynazenon! バトルゴー！さらにダイナゼノンフルバースト！来いゴルドー！合体合流ダイナレックス決めるぞグリッドナイト。ああ共に行くぞ。必勝灼熱大火炎バーニンググリッドレックス。うわ終わりだー！うわー！
But Nakama power isn't only for heroes. The Kaiju Eugenicists all lent their power to Shizumu and synchronized from within, making the fight dead even.
俺たちは互いが必要だって教えてあげますよ、ガウマさん。どでかいの打ちかましてやろうぜ。やりましょう、みんな。
While both sides were shouting out their pent-up feelings, demons from the Mycenae side launched a surprise attack on A.Advent. Yomogi, who had tried many times to imitate kaiju control without success, this time shouted, "Instant domination!" Somehow, perhaps thanks to his deep bond with Shizumu, Yomogi successfully forced Shizumu to crash into the enemy. The explosion created a warp crater that swallowed both the Kaiju Eugenicists and the Mycenae demons. Within the mental world, where Yomogi linked to Shizumu, Shizumu admitted that Yomogi had real talent as a Kaiju user and said, "See you later. Let's meet again." At last came the final showdown with Posaydal's faction, now a massive four-way combined force, with the main armies led by Drake and Raban of Well, joined by the White Knight of Windermere. During the clash, our side received reinforcements from not one, but 2 Macross fleets. However, Royd Brem appeared with Mikumo, who had been fully hypnotized into a singer of star. Then, she began singing a song that brainwashed people on a wide scale. Even the newly arrived Macross allies suddenly defected. Only A.Advent's side could resist to a degree, thanks to Valkyra's songs holding the line. Royd explained that this song would merge and unify human consciousness into one, essentially fusing every mind into a single world. A.Advent had to urgently rescue Mikumo.
白板を止める。全艦トランスフォーメーション。やるぞ。マクロスキャノンだ。照準合わせ急げ。てやったか。当然の結果だな。私の永遠が。
After we succeeded, Royd discovered that the Aerial Knight and the White Knight, now freed of song, were no longer on his side. Meanwhile, the real Oldna Posaydal emerged in the mobile armor Odge, equipped with a perfected biorelation system, tuned through collaboration with Shot Weapon, the man behind the aura machines. This system drew power from will force, producing an impenetrable barrier that no attack could harm. The White Knight, unwilling to let Royd die alone, rammed his craft into Royd's, and the two vanished together. Oldna Posaydal was then betrayed by Mion, the woman who had long served as Posaydal's public base, and the fake Oldna Posaydal until this time. Mion disabled the biorelation system, but doing so doomed herself, since her life depended on that system. This removed the impenetrable barrier from Odge. The plot twisted further. Shot Weapon also betrayed him and restarted the biorelation system, but retuned it to overload, turning the whole base into a ticking bomb. He instructed Oldna Posaydal with a single lesson. Eternity is an utterly worthless concept.
オルトナポセイダル、すべての決着をつけるぞ。イリス、しっかり掴まれ。
ごめん。
もらった。終わりだ。バカだ。この私が。
After Posaydal was eliminated, we hurried to confront Shot Weapon, but found only an elderly man. He introduced himself as Shot Weapon, who had lived from the first Bystonwell War through the Neo-Bystonwell era, over 700 years. He had borrowed Posaydal's technology to make himself useful in order to work together, but his true plan was to find a way to end his own curse of immortality, which he believed began when he brought aura machines to Bystonwell. He released Princess Ramul, who had been held hostage in the base, and stayed behind to die with the impending explosion, hoping he would finally meet death within a fortress saturated by the will force of ruin. Next came the decisive battle against the ancient tribes, the Mycenae, the Campbellians, and the Demon Empire. In the first battle, the enemy gained reinforcements from the Andromeda Stellation, choosing to fight to the death here, even though they could never return to their original time. Though MacDonald himself had died, he drove Uzala berserk, but Raideen communicated with Uzala, guardian deity of Atlantis, in his own capacity as guardian deity of Mu, and calmed it down. Garuda, though he had come to understand everything and had reconciled with Hyoma, chose to fight the last battle for Campbellians until his machine exploded.
地球人をなめるなよ。超電磁竜巻。超電磁スピン。バカだ。
At last, our group pushed forward to confront the Great General of Darkness, to open the gate to the Demon Realm, the realm of Great Demon Barao. In this dimension, Barao was incredibly powerful and had Animus Beast Midolo under his control. The two dark powers amplified one another. Unless both were defeated simultaneously, either could resurrect the other.
Sekai, send this thing back home.
Daijoubu da. みんなは守ってくれた。
Even with victory close at hand, Great Demon Barao unveiled his true power, putting A.Advent in dire straits. Reiko, mother of Akira, pilot of Raideen, resolved to sacrifice herself, praying to the star of Ramu to seal Barao. But Garuda suddenly appeared and gave his life in her stead to repay his debt to Hyoma. Thus, we successfully sealed Barao, and Reiko survived.
行くぞライディーン。ゴッドバーチェンジ。照準セット。 こんなところでよう待てるか。
Mother and child of Mu could at last live together in happiness. Finally came the last decisive battle against the Gundam side enemies. Before the fight, Camille accessed the Zero system from the Wing Gundam Zero to probe Scirocco's plan, his old nemesis, believing Scirocco must be supremely confident in his plan to reveal himself like that. The war erupted at Axis, where it was revealed that Scirocco intended to send Axis crashing into Earth, following Char's original plan, not carried out in this timeline. Worse, DG cells had infested all of Axis. Even if destroyed, the fragments would rain down and infect the Earth. The only solution was to push Axis back into space, and Jibril, former leader of the Blue Cosmos, another mastermind behind the plot, stepped out to taunt A.Advent with this dialogue.
This new Gundam isn't just for show!
After that, we moved to fight at another Animus ruin, base of the two true masterminds, Scirocco from Zeta Gundam and Ulube from G Gundam. Ulube revealed that Emperor Valbelm had intended to deliver Izana, whom was already drained of Evolver power, into A.Advent's care, but Ulube intercepted her en route. Ulube made Izana the core of the Devil Gundam to control the power of this ruin. Scirocco began to panic when Celestial Emperor Valbelm himself appeared to reclaim Izana, accepting responsibility for her failed delivery to A.Advent. Echika, acting as representative, declared they would resolve the matter themselves. Ulube and Scirocco were then defeated, as per tradition.
二人のこの手が真っ赤に燃える。幸せつかめと轟き叫ぶ。バークレス。ゴッドフィンガー。セキハラブラブ天狂犬。俺たちの勝ちだ。おのれ。
Alright, time to die, Scirocco. Godzilla chain. You're gonna split into two once. Or either I put the hole on you. Red leather clutch.
押されているだと。おとなしく自分の運命を受け入れるがいい。とどめを刺してやる。わっと。
That is not all.
こっちの攻撃はまだ終わっちゃいない。
Now face your rival.
ゼータ、思いを力に変えるな。俺がそれを引き出してみせる。
The water melon power.
やるんだ。生きている俺が。ここからいなくな。なんだと、バカな。
stop your
ありがとうみんな。
After recovering Izana, we found that after the Evolver's power, the collective consciousness of the Animus people from 12,000 years ago had left her. She had become just an ordinary, sweet girl. Echika resolved to look after her, so no one could misuse her again, because Izana is still a superhuman who is able to wield will force as the prototype of Echika herself. As for the celestial Valbelm, he issued one final challenge to A.Advent. This time, Valbelm used both the power of Ruin and the Evolver he had siphoned from Izana, allowing him to mass-produce the raw Val's high-grade celestial night units, limitlessly and automatically.
今こそ力を結集する。各機俺の指揮通りに動け。
First is Team Attack.
敵の位
Let's
置を固
go.
定する。
さて、始めるとする。行くよ、メレン。そこだー。
仕上げはお前だ、スザク。
ランスロット真の切り札を使わせてもらう。セブンカウント、ゴー。セブン、シックス、ファイブ、フォー、スリー、ツー、ワン、ゼロ、ファースト。
天騎士が死すのは陛下のおそば。最後まで戦うぞ。受けた痛みは倍。
あとはお任せ。
極人儀かぐや今ここに
Yes, more.
終わらせるよ。大切なもののために。私は勝ちたる。
Become Sakuraになれる。
命の花が咲く。そして
Valbelm also clad his own machine in a gigantic armor unit, gigantic in Denos, making himself a being with power on par with a major singularity.
全ては世の意志が飲み込む。ラーバンの敵。自らが貴様を撃つ。もう逃げられはせぬ。断罪の時は来た。これが世のラーバルの怒りだ。
During the battle, the will force of the righteous, such as Trez, Haman, Durandal, and other fallen allies, rose up in opposition to Valbelm's will force, suppressing his strength. Even though Echika offered one last chance at peaceful coexistence, Valbelm said this would be the final battle, and that whether he won or lost, it would still be a joy. If he won, he would succeed in changing the future by himself. If he lost, it would prove that Team A-Advent was a singularity great enough to give birth to a new future.
満月砕きだよ、エチカ。バイズルーンドラッヘ配置につきました。
お嬢様、ご指示を。
FMC 始動。 ルムーンクラッシュやるよエチカ発射ぶちかませいっけあの光はただいまエチカ
In the end, the outcome was decided. Valbelm chose death and accepted the result. But Izana appeared and revealed that Valbelm intended to drag all the malignant will force, what is called the Evolver, down to hell with him. Valbelm spoke to Izana one last time. You're free of the Evolver. I freed you myself. So live. Live and be free. After that, his mech exploded. Alternatively, in the case where the player chose not to speak with Izana the first time, the decisive duel with Valbelm happens earlier without the Evolver's power, while Izana becomes a perfect vessel to wield the will of the Evolver. We then learn that the Evolver controls Izana's body like a possessing evil spirit. The Evolver intends to select and shepherd humanity into an intergalactic war. Unable to negotiate with A.Advent, it summons Izana no Orochi, a construct forged entirely from Evolver power, to battle alongside 4 Animus Beast Medolos.
我らに歯向かった報いを受けよ我らの願い我らの希望その邪魔をする者は全て滅ぼす
After we defeat them, the Evolver tries to flee, but Izana consciously uses her superhuman power to suppress it, since it is, after all, the will force of the Animus clan of old, and the superhuman is made to control will force, preventing its escape. Our protagonist, Forte, then seizes the moment to extract Izana safely. A.Advent restored peace to the world. Everyone gathered for one final celebration before parting ways, united in their resolve to ensure the future does not unfold according to what the Getter Emperor had decreed. And that is the full story of Super Robot Wars Y. Did you enjoy the story? If this inspires you to pick up the game and dive in, amazing! And if you're still deciding, or time and budget are tight, that's exactly why PST exists. We bring you the complete story, told like a movie, so you can feel the adventure as if you played it yourself. No pressure, no missing out, just the heart of the game when you need it. Tell me your favorite moment below, and what you want to see next. Thanks for watching PST Storytelling. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.